As a sci-fi enthusiast, diving into the world of Red Dwarf USA was like exploring a parallel universe where British wit clashed with American sensibilities. The original British series, a cult classic, thrived on its unique blend of humor and space adventures, creating a loyal following across the galaxy. However, when the American version attempted to replicate this success, it faced a black hole of challenges. The essence of Red Dwarf lies in its quirky characters, from the bumbling Lister to the neurotic Rimmer, each adding their own flavor to the cosmic comedy. Yet, in the American adaptation, these characters felt like distant relatives rather than the beloved crew we knew. The chemistry that sparked on the British ship seemed lost in translation, leaving fans adrift in a sea of unfamiliarity. Moreover, the humor, a crucial element in the original series, struggled to find its footing in the American version. British humor, with its dry wit and absurdity, clashed with the more straightforward approach of American comedy. Jokes that landed effortlessly in the UK fell flat in the vast expanse of US television, failing to resonate with audiences light years away. Despite its best efforts, Red Dwarf USA failed to capture the magic that made its British counterpart a stellar success. It serves as a cautionary tale of the delicate balance required when adapting beloved shows across borders. Sometimes, even in the vast universe of television, some galaxies are best left unexplored. So, as we navigate the cosmos of science fiction TV shows, let us remember the lesson of Red Dwarf USA, that sometimes the stars align just right for a cult classic, and trying to replicate that magic can lead to a cosmic misfire. Red Dwarf USA, a sci-fi gem that never got its chance to shine. Despite high hopes, cultural differences and audience expectations led to its demise. The humor and charm of the original British series just couldn't be replicated. From casting choices to script adaptations, the challenges were vast. Ultimately, Red Dwarf USA remains a fascinating case study in the complexities of cross-cultural television adaptations, a missed opportunity in the galaxy of sci-fi entertainment. So, picture this. It's the late 80s, and a little gem called Red Dwarf hits the screens in the UK. Created by Rob Grant and Doug Naylor, this sci-fi comedy masterpiece quickly became a fan favorite. What made it so special? Well, it's a delightful mix of quirky British humor, a bunch of unforgettable characters, and a setting that's out of this world, literally. The show's blend of wit, charm, and space adventures struck a chord with audiences, making it a cult classic. Fast forward to Red Dwarf USA, an attempt to recreate the magic for American audiences. But alas, despite its best efforts, it just couldn't capture the essence that made the original so beloved. And that, my friends, is the tale of why Red Dwarf USA fell short. Sometimes, you just can't beat the original charm and wit that made the original Red Dwarf a timeless classic.
In Red Dwarf, we follow Dave Lister, the last human alive, navigating space with a hologram of his annoying bunkmate, Arnold Rimmer, a fashion-obsessed evolved cat named Cat, and the ever-helpful sanitation mechanoid, Crichton. Their quirky interactions, sharp humor, and unique take on sci-fi make this series a timeless classic. Get ready for a cosmic adventure like no other. When Universal Studios set their sights on bringing Red Dwarf to American screens in 1992, hopes were high for a successful adaptation. But as the pilot unfolded, the charm that made the original a hit seemed elusive. The timeline of Red Dwarf USA reveals a journey filled with ambition, but ultimately, key factors led to its downfall. Stay tuned as we uncover the twists and turns that shaped this British gem's American dream. Under the shimmering moonlight, I find myself lost in the rhythm of the night, swaying to the beat of the universe. Each step I take feels like a dance with destiny, as if the stars above are guiding my every move. In this moment, time stands still, and I am free to express myself through the language of movement. Dancing in the moonlight isn't just a physical act, it's a spiritual connection to the cosmos, a celebration of life and all its mysteries. So tonight, I let go of inhibitions and let the moonlight lead me on a journey of self-discovery and pure joy.
As we delve into the world of casting controversies, it's clear that the British version of the show nailed it with their natural chemistry. Craig Charles as Lister brought that lovable, relatable everyman quality that just clicked. But when it comes to the American adaptation, the struggle was real. Craig Bierko's portrayal of Lister fell short, lacking that special charm we all loved. And let's talk about Chris Berry's Rimmer versus Chris Eichmann's attempt. Berry's neurotic, hapless charm was iconic, while Eichmann just couldn't quite capture that magic. It's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. The casting choices can make or break a show, and in this case, the differences were crystal clear. The lesson here? Sometimes, the original truly is irreplaceable.
Watching Bierko and Eichmann alongside Charles and Barry, it's fascinating to see how cultural nuances shape their performances. British humor's dry wit and subtlety add layers to their characters that may get lost in translation. It's not just about acting, it's about embodying a whole different comedic style. Dive into the world of nuances and see how these actors bring their own flair to the screen.
As a fan of the original Red Dwarf series, it's clear that humor is a delicate art form. The American adaptation, Red Dwarf USA, faced a tough challenge in capturing the essence of British comedy. The jokes that once sparkled with wit and charm lost their luster in translation. Humor, after all, is like a fine wine. It doesn't always travel well across borders. What tickles the funny bone of one culture may fall flat in another. Red Dwarf USA struggled to strike that perfect balance, often diluting the sharpness of the original scripts or missing the comedic timing that made the British version so beloved. It's a reminder that humor is not just about words on a page. It's about understanding the nuances of a culture and delivering jokes with precision. And in the case of Red Dwarf USA, the challenge of replicating that magic proved to be a mission too far. Creative differences, a term often thrown around in the entertainment industry, can make or break a project. Take the case of the iconic sci-fi comedy series where clashes between the original creators and American executives led to a rift that impacted the show's essence. Grant and Naylor, the brilliant minds behind the series, found themselves at odds with the executives over the show's tone, direction, and character development. Imagine the tension behind the scenes as these creative powerhouses battled it out, each with their vision for the beloved characters and storyline. It's a reminder that even the most successful collaborations can face challenges when artistic visions collide. In the end, compromise is key.
Crafting Red Dwarf was no easy feat, Grant, and Naylor's vision was crystal clear, but adapting it for a new audience tested our limits. It felt like walking a tightrope between two worlds, trying to keep the essence intact. The challenge was real, making it seem like we were juggling two shows at once. But hey, that's the beauty of creativity, right? Pushing boundaries, breaking molds, and delivering something truly unique. Stay tuned for more insights into the wild ride of Red Dwarf.
As a sci-fi enthusiast, diving into the American adaptation after being a loyal follower of the British original was like stepping into a parallel universe without the same spark. The charm and wit that once captivated us seemed lost in translation, leaving us yearning for the familiar magic. And for those new to the series, the characters felt distant, the humor falling flat without the context of the beloved predecessor. It's a tale of two worlds colliding, where expectations clashed with reality, leaving us in a lukewarm state of reception. Adapting shows from one culture to another is like navigating a minefield of expectations and nuances. Take The Office, for example, a shining example of how a British gem can be transformed into an American classic. But then there's Red Dwarf USA, a cautionary tale of how even the best intentions can fall flat. The key lesson here? Cultural humor is a delicate art, and what tickles one audience might leave another cold. It's not just about swapping accents and sets. It's about understanding the soul of the show. So, next time you think about crossing the Atlantic with a beloved series, remember the fate of Red Dwarf USA and tread carefully. Because not every show can make the leap successfully, no matter how much talent is involved. I've always been fascinated by the world of sci-fi, and one show that truly stands out is Red Dwarf. The original cast brought to life a crew of misfits aboard a spaceship, delivering humor and adventure like no other. From the bumbling but lovable Lister to the neurotic and sarcastic Rimmer, each character added a unique flavor to the series. The witty banter and quirky scenarios kept fans hooked for years, creating a cult following that still thrives today. Red Dwarf isn't just a show. It's a legacy, a testament to the creativity and imagination of its creators. It's a reminder that even in the vastness of space, humor and camaraderie can prevail. So, whether you're a die-hard fan or new to the series, dive into the world of Red Dwarf and experience the magic for yourself.
As a devoted fan of Red Dwarf, I couldn't contain my excitement when news of an American adaptation surfaced. However, the disappointment was palpable. The essence of the original series was lost in translation, leaving us yearning for the authentic British charm and humor that made Red Dwarf a cult classic. The attempt to cater to American tastes fell short, highlighting the delicate balance between honoring fan expectations and creating something new. It's a cautionary tale of the perils of adapting beloved shows for a different audience.
Casting for the show was no walk in the park. Matching the energy and chemistry of the original cast was a tough nut to crack. The clash between British and American production styles added another layer of complexity. With everyone having their own vision, finding common ground was like herding cats. It was a roller coaster ride of creative clashes and high expectations. The struggle was real, but in the end, it all came together in a whirlwind of drama and determination. Ever wondered why a joke that cracks up your British friend might leave you scratching your head? Well, it's all about cultural context, folks. British humor, known for its wit and subtlety, thrives on irony, understatement, and that oh-so-British dryness. Picture a cup of tea with a side of sarcasm. On the other hand, American humor hits you like a punchline to the face, direct, loud, and often exaggerated. It's like a comedy show on steroids. Take The Office, for example. The UK version, a masterpiece of cringeworthy awkwardness, found its niche with British audiences thanks to its deadpan humor. But when the US tried to adapt it, well, let's just say Red Dwarf USA didn't quite hit the mark. It's like trying to serve a proper English breakfast in Times Square, just doesn't taste the same. Now, let's dive into the clips, shall we? Watch how a British comedian delivers a punchline with a raised eyebrow and a sip of tea, while an American counterpart goes all out with wild gestures and booming laughter. It's like comparing a polite chuckle to a belly laugh that shakes the room. So next time you're binge-watching your favorite comedy, pay attention to the cultural nuances. Whether you prefer the dry wit of the Brits or the in-your-face humor of the Americans, just remember, comedy is a universal language, but the accents sure do make a difference. Red Dwarf, a sci-fi comedy gem that may have stumbled with its US adaptation, but its original series shines on as a trailblazer in the genre. Its quirky humor, well-developed characters, and clever sci-fi twists have left an indelible mark on the landscape of television. Today, we see its legacy alive and well in modern shows like The Orville and Rick and Morty. These series, in their own right, owe a debt of gratitude to Red Dwarf for proving that sci-fi can be both side-splittingly funny and intellectually stimulating. The influence of Red Dwarf is undeniable, as it continues to inspire a new generation of creators to push the boundaries of what sci-fi comedy can achieve. So, next time you find yourself laughing at the antics of a spacefaring crew or pondering the deeper themes hidden within a comedic storyline, remember the legacy and influence of Red Dwarf that paved the way for such imaginative storytelling. As a fan of sci-fi comedy, Red Dwarf holds a special place in my heart. The quirky characters, the witty humor, and the intergalactic adventures have kept me entertained for years. But what happens when a beloved show like Red Dwarf tries to make its mark in the American television landscape? Well, we got Red Dwarf USA. It was a valiant effort, but as they say, sometimes lightning just doesn't strike twice. Watching Red Dwarf USA is like seeing an old friend in a new outfit. It's familiar yet somehow not quite right. The essence of the original series, with its British charm and unique humor, struggled to translate seamlessly across cultures. It's a testament to the fact that some things are best left untouched, like a perfectly brewed cup of tea. But hey, let's not dwell on the missteps. Instead, let's celebrate the enduring legacy of the original Red Dwarf. From Lister's laid-back attitude to Rimmer's neurotic tendencies, each character brought something special to the table. And let's not forget the lovable cat and the ever-reliable Crichton. Together, they formed a ragtag crew that captured our hearts and tickled our funny bones. So here's to Red Dwarf, a show that defied the odds and continues to shine bright in the vast universe of television. Despite the stumble with Red Dwarf USA, the boys from the dwarf remain iconic figures in the sci-fi comedy genre. Long live the misadventures, the banter, and the camaraderie that make Red Dwarf a timeless classic. Cheers to the dwarfers, and may their journey through space be filled with laughter and joy for years to come. Did you know that the Great Wall of China is over 13,000 miles long and took more than 2,000 years to build? That's longer than the distance from New York to Los Angeles and back. And speaking of long distances, did you know that the world's largest desert isn't the Sahara, but actually Antarctica? Yes, the icy continent qualifies as a desert because it receives very little precipitation. Fascinating, right? Stay tuned for more mind-blowing facts like these. See you next time.